it is the end of the relationship. But what if it's actually the beginning of truth? My partner of 16 years told me she wanted a divorce. It burned away all the stuff that wasn't true. It burned away all the lies, burned away all the masks that I've been wearing. And what was left was just me. The more that I was naturally me, the more magnetic I became. Divorce didn't destroy you, but the story did. And divorce is here. What it actually did was broke you open. Most people think of divorce as the end. Most think of it as like everything's over because it's very normal to think that way. But the truth is, a part of you is ending. A chapter is ending. Part of your life is ending. That old identity is ending. That relationship is ending. That family is ending. It's shifting. But the thing is, you don't have to live in survival. You can move through this faster. And the way to move through this faster is to understand that you need to kind of give it a new meaning. Because you can look at divorce as the end of you. But you could also look at divorce as the beginning of the next chapter. You could also describe it as the beginning of the next version of you that's actually going to be happy. Because if you're getting divorced, I highly doubt that your relationship was happy and that everything was going the way you wanted it to. Because if everything was going the way you wanted it to, you would be in a happier marriage and you probably wouldn't have got divorced. And I understand what it's like. It's challenging. I've been there. In my 2-bedroom apartment, moving from a beautiful 3,500 square foot house in Terrytown, Austin, Texas, to a 2-bedroom, 1,100 square foot apartment, living by myself, missing my 4 boys, being heartbroken, crying on the couch by myself, while on my balcony I can hear people partying outside at all the bars down there in this part of the city. And it was sad. It crushed me. It was hard to go through that. And I didn't have a choice because I can only drink so much. I did drink, but my body doesn't really like drinking anymore. So I really couldn't escape. I had no form of escape. So I had no choice but to sit in it. And the more I sat in it, the more that I cried. And the more that I cried, the more I started to move through it. And when I started to move through it, I started to understand that the majority of the pain that I was experiencing wasn't actually about my ex-wife. It was about the ending of the illusion that I was living under, because I was absolutely living with an illusion. How could I possibly be in a marriage with no connection and no intimacy and no affection for years and years and years and be happy? You can't. So I did what most people did. I turned myself into a version of myself that could survive in that situation. And I was stuck with this frame that it was safer to stay in an unhappy marriage than to face the unknown. But that's a common trap. It's very easy to think that while this may not be perfect, at least I'm not alone. And you can get stuck there for years. I got stuck there for years. And in my situation, my ex actually filed for divorce, not me. And today, here I am a year and a half later, I'm grateful she did because I'm so much happier now. So the thing is, it's not terrifying to face the unknown. Now, that unknown future, which you haven't done before, that's going to be changing your direction, changing your family, changing everything, doesn't have to be terrifying. Now, it is new and different. It is scary. But the thing is, if you're in a divorce process, you're getting divorced anyway. So you may as well do your best to not just get through this, to thrive through this, like literally thrive. How do you do that? Well, number one, you got to make a choice. You got to make a choice that this isn't going to be the end of you. You got to make a choice that this is the beginning of the next evolution of you. And it doesn't matter if you don't know how to make that happen. You just need to make that decision that that's going to be the way to go. Like, this is going to happen. I'm going to find a way to make this better. Because otherwise, you're going to be in the frame of, oh my God, this is terrible, my life's ending. But it doesn't have to be, because it's simply a perspective you're operating from. And when you shift that perspective, you'll start feeling differently, and you'll start feeling differently instantly. And what I've seen from being a professional life and business coach for 13 years, I've worked with thousands of people, more coaching sessions than I count, group coaching programs, webinars. And what I've found is that our default reaction with divorce is it's a bad thing. It's the end. But I want to invite you to a new perspective. What if it's actually the beginning of truth? What if it's a realization of being broken open by the truth that you weren't happy, this wasn't working, and you are actually making progress now because you're pointed in the right direction to take your life into another level? And the thing is, I've been coaching so many people, but the thing is, it's really hard to see the frame or the point of view you're operating in when you're in it. That's why coaching is such a powerful tool, because an outside person can see the perspective and the frame that you're operating from. So what you want to do is really focus on making this better. Like, this is the process to better. This is the path to better. And even though it may suck and be painful right now, this is that process moving forward. Because the thing is, you weren't broken. You were just out of alignment with the target. You were out of alignment with what you wanted. So you did the best you could. So now that you are moving through this process of divorce, now is the time to get in alignment with yourself. That's the time to get clear on what the truth actually is, how you really felt about the relationship, what was really going on, because I guarantee there are truths you are ignoring to be able to survive in that situation. So what if we just kind of give ourselves the idea to have this new perspective that what if divorce isn't ending me? What if divorce is the gateway to the next chapter? And I've just got a tough walk ahead of me, tough road ahead of me for the next 3 months or 6 months. It's not going to last forever, the struggle. And the pain's not going to last forever. The number one thing you can do actually to get through this quicker, so you're not stuck in this 3 to 5, 7 years of divorce suffering or being impacted, is to face the storm head on. The fastest way through a storm is straight into it. That means face those emotions, sit with those feelings. Yes, you're going to feel alone. Yes, you're going to feel sad. And you know what? You're going to cry, and you may hit rock bottom. I've hit rock bottom because I've been through a divorce. I just finished one. Last May, my partner of 16 years told me she wanted a divorce. I'd mother of my 4 children, and it just tore me apart. And moving out was the hardest thing I've ever done. Being all alone, trying to figure out how to live on my own, it was challenging and it was painful. And I can't tell you the number of days that I literally prayed that I didn't wake up in the morning. Suicidal thoughts, yes, I've had lots of those. Fortunately, my boys would always bring me back from that edge. But what ended up happening is the more that I sat in the pain, the more that I sat in the emotion, the more that I faced it head on, the more truth started to show. And the more truth that started to show, the more I started to see what was false. And the more things that literally, it was like the fire was of this suffering and this pit of despair, rock bottom. Yeah, I went through all of that. But what it did is it gave me a powerful gift. It burned away all the stuff that wasn't true. It burned away all the lies. It burned away all the stuff that didn't make sense anymore. I used to be a big people pleaser, and I used to struggle with that. And like literally, this process just got rid of that because it burned away all the masks that I've been wearing. And when all the masks I'm wearing burned away, what was left was just me. And the interesting thing is the more that I was naturally me, the more magnetic I became. I started creating better content because I've been a professional coach for over a decade. And I primarily coach entrepreneurs and real estate investors to help them grow their business and make money. Although the work I do applies to every area of your life. And literally, I'm pivoting right now talking about divorce because that's how my life has shifted. And right now, that's what I'm being called to do. So I'm leaning into that new process, that new path. So while it may feel like you are broken and it's over, what's actually happening is you're becoming the next version of you. And unfortunately, the way life works is that when you're collapsing and things are falling apart, the old life, the old identity, the old way, the new life and new identity doesn't take off right away. There's a stillness in the middle. There's a blank spot in the middle. And it's normal to feel like you're losing yourself. It's normal to feel like you don't have a direction, but you just need to keep walking forward one day at a time. through the dark, through the unknown. And what will happen is you will come out the other side. And when you come out the other side from going into that pit, from really facing your fears, it will transform you. It'll transform you. And it'll not just transform you, it'll transform everyone around you, because you'll start to be a different person. You'll start to attract different people. When you start to become your authentic self, if you're interested in men or women, whatever they are, you're going to find more of them, because the more authentic you are, the more magnetic you become. You're going to find more opportunities that are come up. You're going to start to be a higher elevated version of you, and becoming a higher elevated version of you is how you start to create that life you want, that new career, that new job, make more money, have that amazing relationship, have that amazing body, whatever it may be. Because you are unlimited. You are. There's nothing you can't do. Everything that you've set out to do, that you decided to do, you probably did. Now, people will say, well, Jason, I'm never going to become I'm 5'2", and I'm never going to become the starting point guard in the NBA. Well, let me ask you, is that actually something you're passionate about? Probably not. There's nothing that you are passionate about that you cannot do. Yes, can you be really short in the NBA? Yeah, I remember Spud Webb was at the 90s. He was super short, starting point guard. So you are unlimited. You can make stuff happen. And the first step is to really shift the frame about divorce. Hey, I'm coming out the other side. You can change it. You can make a difference. You're capable of doing that. And if you want more, I can walk you through the formula of the 4 phases that'll help move you through this faster. You can click like and subscribe right here. And you can also join my upcoming Thrive from Divorce live webinar. And that will give you the foundation to kind of move through. My name is Jason Dries. Thank you for listening, and keep going. Head into the storm. You can do this. If you need support, leave a comment. I'm here to help. Thank you.